Risk assessment, the overall process of hazard and risk analyze and risk evaluate. So, why is risk assessment important? Risk assessment are very important as the form and integral part of occupational health and safety management plan. They help to create awarenesses of hazard and risk, identify who may be at risk and how, and find hazard and control measures. When should a risk assessment be done? There may be many reasons a risk assessment is needed, including before new process or activities are
introduced,
before change are introduced, existing process or activities, including when protect
machinery,
tools, equipment change, and or new information
concerning
harm beings available when hazards are identified. Okay, how do you plan for risk assessment? What the scope of your risk assessment will be? For example, specific about what you are assessing, such as the lifetime of the
product.
Yeah, ما شفتها.
No problem. No problem.
The physical area where the work activities, task, place, or the types of hazard.
All right.
The resources needed, for example, train, a term of
individuals
carrying out the assessment, the type of information,
sources, etc.
Yeah.
Yep.
Continue. Who are the stakeholder? And 4, manager, supervisor, worker representative, suppliers. What laws, regulation, code, or standards may apply in your as well organizing policies and procedures. So we have to show this video. See it. We will start with
risk assessment. Controlling dangers at work is no different from tackling any other task. You need to recognize the problem, decide who might be hurt and how seriously, decide what needs to be done to prevent harm, and put the solutions into practice. This risk-based approach will help you to manage the health and safety of your employees and get the balance right between the size of any health and safety problems you may have and what has to be done about them. You should consult with your employees when doing your risk assessments, as they are most familiar with their workplace and their work activities. There are 3 basic steps to risk assessment. Step 1, look at the hazards. Take a pen and paper. Start at the entrance and work your way through your workplace. In each area, have a good look at the workplace and the work that is being done. Look at the tools, equipment, materials, and the work methods. Write down what can cause harm to people. These are the hazards. Step 2. Decide who might be harmed and how. For each hazard, ask yourself, how could somebody be harmed and how likely is it to happen? Then ask, what would the severity of the injury or ill health be? Now look at the precautions that you already have in place. These are your control measures. Step 3. Evaluate the risks and decide whether the existing control measures are adequate or whether more needs to be done. Assess the level of risk. For example, low, medium, or high. Decide if you need to put additional control measures in place or amend the system of work. Talk to your employees and put the control measures in place. Check on a regular basis that the controls are working. You must record your findings and review your risk assessments regularly.
So we'll control from safety management system. Safety management system is a proactive risk approach to managing safety through an organization. So 4 key elements for safety management system. The first one is safety policy, risk management, safety insurance, safety promotion. Safety policy. So a health and safety policy is a written statement by employer stating the company committee for the protection of the health and safety of employee and the public. What is risk management? Risk management, the range of activities that an organization
intentionally
undertakes to understand and to reduce these effects. Safety insurance, a planned and systematic action necessary to the
adequate confidence that a product and service
an organization or intuition system achievement or
acceptable
or
tolerable
laptop safety. Safety promotion is a set of means, process and procedures that are used to develop, suggest, sustain and improve activity, aviation safety through awarenesses, raising and changing behavior.
That's it? There's another video?
Yes.
Do you have an open reporting culture where everyone in the organization accepts policies, is able to suggest changes, and can communicate without fear of incrimination? To have an effective safety management system, SMS, that prevents undesired events, you need a strong reporting culture. Yet reporting alone is not enough. Reports need to be analyzed and investigated if the data is to be useful in managing change. Do you use reported data to improve safety management? If the answer is no to those questions, how do you know your SMS is effective? Vital operational data is captured through reporting. If harnessed correctly, it can be utilized to drive safety, efficiency, and high performance throughout your organization. Capturing a variety of report types creates the basis for a clearer understanding of problems, which can be illustrated with effective analysis. Each report type should have different levels of severity, assigned ownership, and responsibility. Through a combination of mandatory and voluntary reporting, an increased amount of information is available for analysis, which improves statistical, trend, comparative, and behavioral analysis. There are some standard reports mandated by authorities and regulators. However, an organization should look beyond those and introduce voluntary reporting on anything that can influence their SMS and their commercial and operational strategy. A report should capture as much information as can be recalled, and ideally the information is captured at source, as this makes the process of initiating an investigation easier. Supplementary information is captured for analysis and utilized for change management at a later date. Reports should be easy to use and accessible to all. Forms with mandatory fields and drop-down lists are intuitive for the end user to complete and encourage more proactive reporting.
Okay.
Thank you, Azal.
The end of our
Stop the record.
presentation.
Do you have any questions?